Once upon a time, in the land of Egypt, there lived a man named Moses. Moses was a Hebrew, but he was raised in the palace of the Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt. One day, Moses saw an Egyptian soldier mistreating a Hebrew slave. Filled with anger and a desire to protect his people, Moses intervened and accidentally killed the soldier. Realizing what he had done, Moses fled Egypt and traveled to the land of Midian. There he met a kind family and married their daughter Zipporah. Moses became a shepherd, tending to the family's sheep in the quiet hills. One day, while Moses was tending the sheep on Mount Horeb, he witnessed a miraculous sight. A bush was on fire, but it was not burning up. As Moses drew near, he heard the voice of God speaking to him from the midst of the flames. God told Moses that he had seen the suffering of his people in Egypt and chosen Moses to lead them out of bondage. God instructed Moses to return to Egypt and demand that Pharaoh let the Hebrew slaves go free. With faith in God's plan, Moses obeyed and, together with his brother Aaron, confronted Pharaoh. When Moses asked Pharaoh to let the Israelites go, Pharaoh said no, so God sent 10 big problems called plagues to show Pharaoh how powerful he was. Water turned into blood. The Nile River and all water sources in Egypt turned into blood, causing death to fish and making the water undrinkable. Frogs. Frogs swarmed Egypt, covering every inch of the land, including people's homes and beds. Gnats or lice. Dust turned into swarms of gnats or lice, covering both humans and animals. Flies or wild animals. Depending on translations, this plague could be flies or a mixture of wild animals. Either way, it brought discomfort and destruction to the land. Pestilence on livestock. All the livestock belonging to the Egyptians died, while those of the Israelites remained unharmed. What is pestilence on livestock? Imagine all the animals on the farms, like cows, sheep, and goats, suddenly got very sick. They had big, painful sores on their bodies, and they couldn't eat or drink. This made their owners very sad because these animals were very important to them. It was like all the animals in Egypt were having a really bad sickness all at once. This was one of the things that happened when Moses asked Pharaoh to let the Israelites go so they could be free. It showed how powerful God was, and it helped convince Pharaoh to let them leave. Boils. Painful boils broke out on the skin of the Egyptians and their animals. Hail and fire. Hail mixed with fire rained down upon Egypt, destroying crops, trees, and people in the fields. Locusts. Swarms of locusts descended upon Egypt, devouring all the remaining vegetation after the hail. Darkness. A thick darkness covered Egypt for 3 days, during which people could not see or move about. Despite witnessing many wonders and signs from God, Pharaoh's heart remained hardened, and he refused to let the Hebrews leave. But God persisted, sending plagues upon Egypt to convince Pharaoh to change his mind. Death of the firstborn. The most devastating plague, where every firstborn child in Egypt, both human and animal, died, except for those protected by the blood of a lamb on their doorposts, as instructed by God to the Israelites. Finally, after the 10th and most devastating plague, Pharaoh relented and allowed the Hebrew slaves to leave Egypt. Led by Moses, the Israelites set out on their journey to freedom. But Pharaoh soon regretted his decision and gathered his army to pursue the Israelites. As the Israelites reached the shores of the Red Sea, they found themselves trapped between the sea and Pharaoh's advancing army. Fearful and uncertain, they cried out to God for help. In a breathtaking display of divine power, God parted the waters of the Red Sea, creating a dry path for the Israelites to cross to safety. As they walked through the sea on dry ground, with walls of water towering on either side, the Israelites witnessed the incredible might of their God. Once the Israelites had safely crossed, God caused the waters to rush back, drowning Pharaoh's army and delivering his people from their pursuers. Eventually, they arrived at Mount Sinai, where God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, a set of moral laws to govern the people's conduct and relationship with God. From that day forward, Moses continued to lead the Israelites on their journey to the Promised Land, guided by God's wisdom and grace. And the miracle of the Red Sea remained a testament to God's faithfulness and power for generations to come. Thank you for watching. May the love of God guide you always,